on to you Virgos, how you Virgos are doing anyway. So there you go. So you have the Five of Cups, the Four of Wands, and then you Virgos have the Temperance. So there's a huge regret going on. The Five of Cups represents you Virgos regretting to not get on this path sooner, but it also represents how they regret not really having you around. Um, Pretty much, right? You know, we're living in a materialistic world that's going out of style in a sense that if you don't have spirituality or something deeper about you and it's authentic, it's real, we're heading into a time where good luck really being taken seriously because the stupid fatigue it's not just it's not BLK fatigue, it's stupidity fatigue. You know, it's disingenuity fatigue, right? Or a person being disingenuous. You know, people who are disingenuous are starting to kind of become seen as uncool, and a lot of people don't want to hang out with a person that they know is essentially going to betray them anyway. And so the Four of Wands represents how, so like I said before for you Virgos, right? They like you. They want to be in a, they want to kind of know what you Virgos got going on. And the Temperance here just represents you have the remedy for that stuff. You know, you Virgos are just doing the things that you need to do for yourself. You're just staying focused and handling your business. And that's what you're doing, right? Like that's legitimately what it is that you're doing. It's not anything personal. It's not anything against anybody. It's just that you Virgos are just handling your business. You know, the Temperance is about staying focused. The Temperance is about solving situations that pop up. Um, you know, coming up with answers and coming up with answers that ultimately work for you. You know, Temperance is also about, like I said, finding out about the real you. The Temperance is Sagittarius, right? Ruled by Jupiter. So the Temperance is really more so like expansion and how you Virgos are expanding, doing your own thing. I've said this before, lay low. I haven't done it yet. As far as I am laying low in certain ways, but I'm not in other ways because I'm still putting myself out there in the sense that, you know, I'm kind of trying to draw attention to myself for the part of like the virtual reality store and other things that I got going on as far as like a web browser that I'm coming out with. So I'm trying to draw attention to those things. But, you know, I pretty much figured it out. Like after I drop those 2 to 3 things, then I'll lay low. You know what I mean? I'll pretty much lay low. I mean, permanently, right? Like, and just kind of that what I was talking about how people won't know whether or not if I'm like, you know what I mean? That's coming soon because I planned this. I want it to be like this. I planned it that way, in order to keep myself safe, because people are watching. You know what I mean? Eyes and ears are everywhere. People are watching. You know, you got a lot of jealous people out here. You feel me? And I've already experienced, you know, jealous people enough as it is coming up. So, you know, the more famous I get and the more subscribers that come to the channel and the bigger I get, I have to be able to plan for the future, you know, and I can't just stay caught up in thinking that, you know, everybody loves me and stuff like this. Sometimes people are so like skewed to the point where they'll love you, but it's not like love the way that it should be. They'll, you know, and so a lot of you Virgos are laying low and handling your business. And so now the things that the Seven of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords for you represent how you're focusing on the business that pays you. What makes you, what brings value to you back after you bring value, right? So what is equal exchange for you? What is equivalent exchange? And the Ace of Swords represents putting down the need to the need to beef with other people. There's a strong sense that you Virgos are like, you know, not putting this beef that people will have with you, and have some sort of like whatever, I don't know, like whatever kind of like little, whatever delusion that they have about you, right? Coming up with excuses to beef with you. A lot of you Virgos don't necessarily care. Um, a lot of you Virgos are walking away from beefing. You're denouncing it, right? You're renouncing it. You're denouncing it. You're putting it down, and you're disowning it, because a lot of you Virgos, like I said, you see the bigger picture and you don't want to go back and forth beefing with people, because you Virgos see this for what it is. It's a distraction, and it's a distraction that people can take too far, right? And so you don't want to like make this thing into something what it wasn't supposed to be. And then the next thing you Virgos know, it becomes a situation where it's gotten out of hand. A lot of you Virgos don't want it to be like that. A lot of you Virgos are thinking ahead proactively. And so the Five of Wands here represents how, Five of Wands, Six of Swords, you'll have people who will like try to come back and everything like that. But once again, you don't really care, because at the end of the day, people have shown you a history of, they like the money, and the money is the very same thing that's going to do them in, because the money is the very same thing that's going to get them, right? Because to be honest with you, Virgo is the smartest zodiac, right? People be thinking that they playing all kind of games on Virgo, and they don't really seem to understand that they can't sleep because on Virgo, because us as Virgos will flip it on them, right? Whatever it is that they think that we don't know, if us as Virgos really want to find out something, then us as Virgos will most definitely go and find out. So a lot of us Virgos don't want to really be with anybody right now, as far as like take anybody back. All those individuals that pretty much have drawn a line in the sand with the things that they say and what they do, things that they say and or what they do, they can essentially stay over there, because we're not like trying to make people do anything that they don't want to do, especially now, right? And so the thing is that the Queen of Pentacles here is about how, we're concentrating on doing our own thing and staying quiet. But this goes to show you just how much people don't want you to empower yourself, because anytime you Virgos go quiet, people get suspicious. Like, what are you doing? And that kind of curiosity mixed with suspicion is why it is that they can't succeed. Because remember what it is that I said, the more you do you is the more people can't do them. My DMs, I'm not going, because I have some cool people, but my DMs popping off, a lot of people reaching, but I'm not compatible with some of them. I'm not compatible with some of them, respectfully. And so I'm still gonna be cool with them. I don't have any kind of anything personal um, against them, but at the same time, I am. They are not really a part of my plans. You know what I mean? Should they be? And so the situation with that is that the Four of Cups and the Star card for you, for you Virgos, the Four of Cups just here represents they're not going to like it. They're not going to like the fact that they're not a part of your plan, because for you Virgos who have already kind of like started to lay low, you're not replying to them. You're not reaching back out. They're calling your phone, but you're not calling them. You're not texting them. And the Four of Cups represents how it is that they do not know exactly really what's going on. They are unclear, because it's like you almost dropped off the face of the earth. And also for you Virgos, where you haven't done this yet, you're kind of becoming more unreachable due to the fact that you Virgos are kind of like busy doing your thing. As a result, because you're so busy doing your thing, as a result, you don't have the time to give to them, to to be wherever they are. So by default, You doing your own thing makes it so that they don't know what you've got going on. And the thing is that the star card here represents how a lot of you Virgos also too are focusing on doing your own thing. You're doing, like I said, you are accomplishing your dreams. People don't know what your dreams are unless you say it. People don't know what your dreams are. So right now you're kind of like you're very much so, that you're not like what it is that most people will try to put you out to be, right? Because they're being disingenuous anyway. You're not predictable because people can't read your mind, obviously, and they don't know what you Virgos got going on. And it's good. And I've talked about this before that like being invisible, because Virgo and Pisces rules invisibility. Being invisible is such a gift. It's such a gift. Like when we came up in the game, we thought that being invisible, we saw so many people getting attention, and we just, us as Virgos, we just wanted to feel loved. So we equated attention for love. And those things are not necessarily equivalent to one another, because you have a lot of people where we'll get the attention, and then you'll have people who will immediately try to make it so that us as Virgos, we don't feel good about ourselves. Other people can play in the spotlight, we can't. They'll make it a point. You feel what I'm saying? So the situation with us is that us as Virgos, we've learned to adapt. But the fact that we're staying quiet, that's the thing that we're playing on. Let's clarify the star card. Seven of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, Five of Swords, Six of Swords, Empress for you Virgos, right? To clarify the star card, which is us being unpredictable, doing our own thing that people do not have knowledge of. The Seven of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Five of Swords here represent how a lot of you Virgos, again, you'll even have some people starting to get more invasive, trying to find out your whereabouts, trying to get more nosy, finding out about, your whereabouts and what you've been up to. And the Knight of Pentacles and the Five of Swords, feed them a little bit. Don't feed them too much, but feed them a little bit. Nothing detailed, nothing too specific. To give them here and theirs, The Six of Swords and the Empress represents how a lot of you Virgos also too, this is a place for you where, again, they really want to get all up in your attention, but the Empress, don't allow them to get in your business. Don't allow them to get your attention. Give them attention, but then do your own thing. I told you Virgos, that our power is in our invisibility. Because Pisces is the X, right? Pisces represents the X. X marks the spot. Pisces represents the X. The glyph of Pisces is X, meaning unknown, right? And so Pisces rules over the unseen with the two eyes, or the unknown, right? Or mystery. That's what Pisces represents. Us being the opposite sign, Virgo, we pull from that polarity, right? This goes right back into why it is I was saying a few months ago about how people won't listen to us Virgos, even though we could be standing there right next to them saying something, or they could even come to us and ask us what we, try to like chop it up with us and talk with us, and we'll tell them da-da-da-da, and they won't listen. And so the situation for you for you Virgos, is that this is good because the X means the unknown. We gain a lot of value from being unknown. The less hinted but known, the less hinted, the more hinted, or more accurately, the more flash as far as we're here today, gone tomorrow, the less permanence we are in people's lives, the better it is for us. Unless they build equity with us, as far as really put in work, and of course, we put in work with them as well, leave them alone. So that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. Trying to get the YouTube channel to 100K. We're at 29,646 subscribers. Smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, hit the notification bell, set the notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever it is that I drop my videos. Oh, and if you Virgos want to come through and get a personal reading, the link to that is in the comment section below. Call the Linktree link.